Here is my technique challenge for you. This is my finished layout, but the challenge is for you to take a photo and knock out a portion of it to put text, title, little elements, or maybe you can cut little squares out of paper or something there to fill in the center of it. Maybe some little blocking of various things in the center would be nice. And this is my finished layout, and so I'm going to take you through the steps of how I did mine. Most of this has been covered in other tutorials, but for those that are newbies, or you maybe learned something that you hadn't seen before, I'm going to go over just the beginning parts of it. So I'm going to go ahead and make all of these layers invisible on my layout. Down here at the bottom I preserved my original photo. Now you want to pick a photo that has the main focal point of the photo somewhere in either the top or the bottom of the layout of the photo. Mine was a little difficult to work with. It would have been nicer if maybe they were a little bit higher and there was less seats and more green fields, but this, was the photo that I chose to work with. So what I did first was to make the rounded corners of this, and so I selected the rounded rectangle tool, and if there's another tutorial for this, you can look it up. It might be in more detail. I've got a radius of 71 pixels. It's going to vary per layout and how big your photos are. Of course, I'm a rectangular scrapper, and so the size of mine is smaller than a 12 by 12, so lots of things will change this radius. And I'm going to choose simplify, and then I'm going to make that invisible. Then I'm going to simply hold down on my control key and click on the thumbnail of this shape that I made to get those marching ants. I'm going to click select inverse. I'm going to make sure I'm on my photo layer and hit delete on my keyboard. And then control D to deselect. And now my photo has those nice rounded corners. Now I'm going to get my rectangular marquee tool and just simply make a selection that I want to knock out on the photo. And I believe I knocked out about this much on my layout. Then just hit the delete key. Now you've got a nice area here. You can even go ahead and apply your drop shadow to that photo. You got a nice area there for a title. Now the difficult thing is that this is going to need to be grounded, and I'm going to show you how I grounded my layout. Of course, there's going to be a lot of different ways. You may want to put a strip of paper from top to bottom, but then you may want to erase that paper where this hole goes through, because you'd be able to see that paper. Maybe it'd look cool leaving it. It also all depends on your background colors and things, how they all work. And so here's how I made those lines to ground mine. I'm going to use this shape that I've already got, and I'm going to simply make it I'm on the wrong layer. Let's get on the shape layer. I'm going to simply make it so it comes in a little bit on each side, about the same, and then I'm going to make it taller and longer at the bottom. I'm just resizing this. I'm just eyeing it. I usually don't do things too precise on my layouts, because I don't think my family's going to be looking that close 50 years from now. Okay, now I have my new shape that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to make that invisible again. I hold down with my Control key, click on the thumbnail, get marching ants around that new shape. Create a new layer, and then I'm going to do in the Edit drop-down box, Stroke, and I used 8 pixels. You can use whatever you want. Let's get a nice color out of the uniforms, which is what I did, but I'm having trouble right now. Their uniforms tend to give off a lot of red instead of orange. There, I think that's a better color. Click OK, Control D, and now I have my line. Of course, I want that to be below my photo. Now, I didn't want the line to be running through this blank space here, so I'm going to grab my eraser tool, make sure I'm on the correct layer, and just delete that. And what I did next was I'm just going to activate it, if I can find it, to create my text. And then I moved the text over the line and just eyed it and deleted that line right up to where the text came to it. And that is how I began working on my layout. Now it's much more grounded. And what I'm going to do quickly is to bring back all of these other layers. And you can see once again there's my finished layout, and I'm anxious to see what you can do. The challenge is to knock that space out of the middle of a photo. You can add other photos in other places. It doesn't have to be a one photo layout, but just see what you can do maybe to knock that out and put your title right there in the middle of your photo and make something creative. And I look forward to seeing what you can do.